Fantasy literature is a captivating genre in English literature that takes readers into worlds filled with magic, mythical creatures, and epic adventures. Here's an overview of its key elements, history, themes, and major works. 1. Definition of fantasy literature. Fantasy literature is a genre that explores imaginative, otherworldly settings, often including magic, supernatural forces, and mythical creatures. It frequently involves a battle between good and evil, quests, and a hero's journey. Characteristics of fantasy literature. Magical elements includes wizards, spells, enchanted objects, or mystical powers. Imaginary worlds, set in fictional universes with unique rules, geography, and history, e.g., Middle-earth, Narnia. Mythical creatures, dragons, elves, dwarves, fairies, and more. Hero's journey, a central protagonist who embarks on a quest, often discovering their inner strength. Timeless themes, love, sacrifice, courage, and the eternal fight between good and evil. Hack 3. History of fantasy literature. Early influences. Myths and legends. Greek, Norse, and Celtic myths inspired early fantasy themes. Medieval literature. Works like Beowulf and Arthurian legends introduced chivalry, magic, and heroic quests. Fairy tales. The Brothers Grimm and Charles Perrault contributed to early fantasy with folk tales. B. 19th century. Writers like Mary Shelley, Frankenstein, Lewis Carroll, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, and George MacDonald, The Princess and the Goblin, laid the foundation for modern fantasy. C. 20th century. Golden Age of fantasy. J.R.R. Tolkien, The Hobbit, and The Lord of the Rings defined high fantasy. C.S. Lewis, The Chronicles of Narnia brought Christian allegory and wonder to the genre. Ursula K. Le Guin, Earthsea series explored philosophical and moral themes. 21st century, the genre expanded with diverse voices and subgenres. Popular authors include J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter series, George R.R. Martin, A Song of Ice and Fire, and Brandon Sanderson, Mistborn series. Hot 4. Subgenres of fantasy. High fantasy, set in entirely fictional worlds, The Lord of the Rings. Urban fantasy. Magic exists in modern urban settings, The Dresden Files. Dark fantasy combines horror with fantasy, The Witcher. Epic fantasy, grand-scale conflicts involving large casts and multiple plotlines, A Song of Ice and Fire. Sword and sorcery focuses on heroic adventures and personal quests, Conan the Barbarian. 5. Themes in fantasy literature. Good versus evil, central to many stories. The hero's journey, inspired by Joseph Campbell's The Hero with a Thousand Faces. Self-discovery. Characters grow emotionally and mentally through their quests. Power and corruption. The dangers of absolute power. Cultural identity and diversity. Many modern works explore cultural myths and folklore. 6. Key authors and works. J.R.R. Tolkien, The Hobbit, The Lord of the C.S. Lewis, The Chronicles of Narnia. J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter series. A Song of Ice and Fire. Ursula K. Le Guin, Earthsea series. Terry Pratchett, Discworld series. Philip Pullman, his Dark Materials trilogy. 7. Influence on popular culture. Fantasy literature has influenced films, e.g., Harry Potter, The Lord of the Rings, video games, The Witcher, Elder Scrolls, and TV shows, Game of Thrones. 8. Why is fantasy literature important? Escapism offers a break from reality. Moral lessons explores ethical dilemmas and human values. Creativity inspires imagination and innovation. Would you like a detailed analysis of specific works or themes?